You don't need a label to blow up, okay? If you're an independent artist and you're making music and you're trying your best to blow up and build a fan base, and you somehow think that like getting a label would change that or help you, build more and get more fans and get more followers, you need to understand that like you don't need a label to blow up, okay? The only thing a label does, yeah, is give you money to do more of the things you're already doing, okay? But they don't actually give you that kind of the knowledge and the secrets, okay? Thing is like you can do everything a label will do for you by yourself for free basically. And I think the idea that you need a label to start, or the idea that like a label would change everything for you, it's the most damaging thing and it's the biggest thing holding you back, okay? So I'll tell you my story, okay? I had that belief of, I need a label to blow up, I probably also thought that, I couldn't blow up my music independently, or that I needed to find a label who would sign me, or, whatever, in order to like get my music played. But at the end of the day, the only thing you need is to build a brand and market it, okay? For your music. And you need to like understand that it's less about like how much money that you have or how much money you put in. And it's more about the people that you can connect with and the people you can reach, okay? That is the only thing that matters when it comes to being an artist, okay? So, firstly, you need to understand, okay? Your music needs to connect with people. That's the only way that you're gonna get people to listen to it, okay? So, firstly, think about in what ways can my music connect to people, okay? And what people can I connect with? The best thing I'll say is to make music for yourself and then find people who are like yourself, okay? Think about it, okay? If you can find people that like relate to you in some way, or make music that actually like solves a problem for people. For example, if you're a depressed person, if you're a depressed person, make music that helps people kind of like cope with their depression, like if you're someone who loves to go to parties, bro, make party music for people who love to go to parties like you. Make music for yourself that you need in your everyday life that solves a problem for you, and in that way you'll be solving problems for other people. Okay? And think about it. There's 8 billion people in the world, okay? You think you're unique, you think you're special, but at the end of the day, there are billions, there's millions of people just like you who have the same problems as you, who want to listen to the same type of music as you, who would relate to the same shit as you. And so you need to understand that if you make stuff for yourself that you connect with, that you reason with, you're gonna find people who connect with that. There are gonna be people who connect with that, and your music is gonna be loved by them. And so you don't need to kind of like play a persona or get a label to create a character for you. If you can just be authentic and be yourself, and then market that in the right way, and I'll share some tips on like doing that in a good way. But if you can find people like yourself and make music for those people, you're gonna have enough people to build a fan base and make money. Okay, and then when you have those people, you're gonna be able to scale it and go on tours and whatever. But you don't need a label to do that. You just need a pen and a paper and writing it down and being consistent, okay? And so another thing I want to talk about is the fact that like you have every single tool you need to market your stuff. You have every single thing like right in your phone, okay? At the end of the day, all you need is a phone, record yourself and post it. You don't need a label to do that. And you don't need me to tell you that. You know that already. And so the big thing you need to do is be clear on a brand. Build a clear brand to the T. Answer the big 5 questions. Okay, firstly, who does my music connect with? Okay, what's my target audience? Who are they? What do they look like? What age are they? Okay, and then think, what problem is my music solving? Okay, and I'm not saying that your music needs to solve a literal problem or establish world peace or anything, but understand that it needs to serve a function. Okay, it needs to do something for someone. Okay, think, what emotion is my music rooted in? What emotion do I evoke? You need to have an emotional kind of attachment with your music at the end of the day. You don't need a label to do that. You just need to understand that music is literally just emotion. It evokes emotion. And you need to have like one emotion that you're focused on, okay? That your music evokes over and over again. And then fourth, you need to have like an instantly recognizable feature. That can be that your music style is really unique and it's instantly recognizable, or it can be the fact that you look in a weird way, that you look in a way that's instantly recognizable. I mean, look at all these artists that have blown up in the past few years. I mean, some of them make horrible music. Some of them make bland music, like Ice Spice, for example. Ice Spice music is nothing special. It's nothing that you're gonna listen to or think about. But the fact that she has like a recognizable character in terms of her looks, with the hair and whatever, it makes sure that people like are gonna be able to recognize her. And recognizability is so important when it comes to taking people from like hearing you for the first time and actually listen to you. And then the fifth thing I will say is kind of the most important, and it's the way that kind of like you market it. How do you market that? If you can write that down on a paper and quantify that, you'll have a strong enough brand, okay? And that's kind of what I do, by the way. If you need, like, if you're actually kind of serious about this, like, first link in the description, I will literally do all these things where I will build a music brand for you, and I will tell you exactly how to market that in the best, most effective way in order to build a fan base. But, no pressure. But basically, if you can write that down, okay, you have everything that label will help you with, okay? You have literally built a brand that's gonna get you far enough in an authentic way. And then when it comes to content, okay, the big thing with content that most people don't understand is that you don't need a budget. You don't need anything for content at the end of the day. Because the big thing with, especially like this year and the years coming, is that there are so many people on social media. It's so oversaturated, okay? And it's been so like heavily produced, especially music, okay? Like the production levels are too high. And the big thing that people connect with these days is authenticity, okay? People love to support someone who's coming up, someone who they relate to, someone who's just more achievable, someone who's like more DIY and authentic, okay? So the big thing is not to like have money or, have a production team or whatever. The big thing is just to be authentic and find people who relate to you. That's all you need to do, okay? So we need to scrap this idea that you need a label, okay? Because everything you need, like, in order to learn how to do this and build a music brand and build a following, build a fan base, make money, all of that information is literally on the internet, whether it is on YouTube. I have a bunch of videos going through it. And as I said, the link in the description is so. But I mean, like, you don't even need to study, like, in music stuff. Like, you can look beyond music. You can look at other brands beyond music in other kind of, like, sectors and industries. Look at fashion brands. Look at how they market. Just steal their brand, psychology and stuff. At the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is that the idea that you need a label to do stuff or do anything is an excuse for you to just keep on waiting and keep on procrastinating. I will tell you this: stop procrastinating. Just go for it. Just go for it. And listen, write down on a piece of paper, 30 minutes, sit down 30 minutes, write down everything that you need for a brand, okay? As I said, the big 5 questions, I don't even know if I can remember it now, but, you need what problem is your music solving, for what group of people, what emotion does your music evoke. You need like some recognizable qualities, and then you need like a way to market it. And at the end of the day, the whole thing I always say is focus on one platform and pick either Instagram, Reels, or TikTok, okay? Pick one platform. Because at the end of the day, yeah, scaling on 2 platforms, fine. But I mean, if you can learn one platform and focus on that over and over again, at the end of the day, like, firstly, you'll be putting all your effort into one thing, and fine, you can post to TikTok and Instagram Reels at the same time, but the algorithms and the apps, they are different. And so if you can learn one and focus heavy on that, go for that. And I always say to focus on Instagram Reels, because at the end of the day, the thing with TikTok is, like, comparing it to Instagram Reels, it's way easier to kind of have both, content as well as, an image and a profile where you can connect with people and, look presentable at the same time. Whereas TikTok is just content. And so I always say for artists, especially, like, people might be more likely to go on Instagram, find someone on Reels, and then go and listen to their music compared to TikTok, because people just be scrolling TikTok and, or whatever works for you. But what I'm trying to say is, like, everything I talked about in this video is probably like enough to get you beyond, what a record label will do to you. Besides the money, obviously. I'm not going to give you any fucking money, brokey. But what I'm trying to say is that you don't need a label to blow up. At the end of the day, having a fucking label is going to do more bad than good, okay? At the end of the day, because you're going to be confined. And the thing about being an artist, being in music, is to make whatever you want to make and have it be purposeful and creatively express yourself in whatever ways you want to do. And so you can do that already. And if that's like the way you measure success, then you're going to be winning just by making music and having fun. And building a fan base, it's all good and it's fun, making money and making a living off music. But understand that all you need to do is just make whatever songs you make, package it in a good brand, and post. That's the $1 million truth. Hey! So yeah, I mean, I think this kind of idea that having a label is going to set you apart or help you out, is pretty damaging, because it's going to just keep you waiting for something that's, let's be real, it's probably not going to happen. But, you never know. Yeah, I think that's everything for this video, though. And I hope you kind of, through this rant, I hope you maybe get some inspiration, some insights maybe. And I'll see you next time, yeah. But why are you still watching?